Hello. Welcome to Tea with the Druid 248. I'm Philip Cargom, and this is brought to you by the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids. It's lovely to see you here, to see everybody arriving from all directions. And I can see people coming in from Finland and Colorado and Bromley and Switzerland and the Netherlands and Scotland and Australia, Central Ireland, West London, West Yorkshire, Norway, Limerick, Louisiana, Sussex, Guildford, North Hampshire, New Forest in the UK, Italy, Florida. Such fun seeing everybody arrive in the Palatine Forest in Germany, Maine in the USA, Hertfordshire, Mount Shasta, Michigan, Romney Marsh, South Africa, Denmark, Southwest Colorado. Fantastic. Welcome to everybody. Today it's the time of the equinox. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's the autumn equinox. Most of us I can see from here. I haven't seen anybody from New Zealand yet. Somebody from Australia I've spotted. Most people who are watching the live broadcast are in the northern hemisphere. And if you're watching the recorded broadcast, it'd be interesting to know where you're from. But I'm going to speak as if we're addressing the spring equinox. But many of the ideas of the equinox apply to both equinoxes. So at 9:24, so in about an hour and 20 minutes or so, the moment of the equinox occurs. So we're meeting at, there's somebody from New Zealand. Hello, Lindy, from New Zealand. You're about to enter into the autumn there. So before we dive into that, let's just see how we're feeling. Just take a moment to check in. Deep breath. Breath out. And if you had to say in a word or two how you're feeling, what comes up for you? And then just type it in. Just type it in, which is like making a gesture into the circle, speaking it into the circle. Snug, sleepy, balanced, in need of some life balance, hopeful, in spiritual transition, cautiously optimistic, overwhelmed, stressed, recovering from a cold, empowered, hungry, content, feeling supported and loved, exhausted, sad, disappointed, tired, unsure about outcomes, cozy, calm and a wee bit tired, balanced and filled with hope, curious for new wisdom, blessed, frazzled and hopeful, celebrating 1 year with OBOD, an anniversary for me. I had, it's going so fast, a bit chilly till heating comes on. Tired, having a slight headache, but happy to join in here. Very tired, but grateful. Restless, but grateful. Unwell, chesty cold. Looking from my cave and thinking about if the time is ready to leave it. I know that feeling. Hello from Brittany, land of the standing stones. Fresh from a shower. How nice. Relaxed, feeling good, content, enthusiastic. So yes, I'm feeling good, settled, peaceful, and pleased that we've got to this time of the spring equinox. And what I wanted to explore with you today here is just the way in which the eightfold wheel of the year, which is such a rich resource for us, how it includes both an understanding of time and of change as a slow, organic process, and of the way in change, in the process of change, things can happen very suddenly. If you think about a baby, there's 9 months of pregnancy, the baby slowly growing in the womb, then pop, out it comes. I know it's not that easy. I'm just doing this, but I know it's not that easy. But essentially, all of a sudden, the baby is born. Now, another example is, I don't know if you've had this when you're doing up a house or a flat, and particularly if you're starting from kind of scratch, it's just, awful, plastering and painting and the electrics and nothing, look, and it feels like it's going to take forever. The builders are there forever and all the rest of it. And then at a certain point, you hang the curtains, you pop the pictures up, and suddenly there you've got a home. And this is the natural way that change occurs, and you see it reflected in the calendar and in the eightfold wheel of the year. And you see this. Let's look at spring, how in the Druid calendar, spring is a triple celebration. We begin to celebrate spring as we get its first glimmerings at Imbolc, and then we come to a time about 6 weeks later or so. Where are we now? It's March the 20th. Imbolc was around the beginning of February. Yeah, so it's 6-7 weeks. We come to this time, and it's the spring equinox. We celebrate spring again. It's still pretty cold, but the daffodils are out and the flowers are out and so on, but not all of them. And then in May, it'll be the full flood of spring. The hawthorn will be out, the May blossom, and it'll be our third celebration of spring, which will also be our first celebration of the beginning of summer. So a gradual process of revelation and of change. But within that, there's also a very specific moment of change, which is going to occur in about an hour and 20 minutes, the equinox. And that is a specific moment in time where the length of the days will exceed the length of the nights. There'll be just a moment of equality, a moment of balance, and then we'll tip into the delicious imbalance, for those of us who like the sunshine and the warmth, the delicious imbalance of longer days and shorter nights. And there's, I think, a real lesson for us here in terms of how we negotiate change, how we experience change, how we cooperate with the process of change. We all know the way we can get so frustrated because nothing seems to be changing. And we kind of know that things are changing, certain things are changing in whatever dimension it is, the political dimension, our relationship, whatever it is, things are changing. And then there'll come a time when there's a major shift, a transformation that occurs. And so now we're coming to this time of the spring equinox, the time of the sowing of seed. And the animal that symbolizes in the Druid tradition the spring equinox is the hare. And you'll see in this wonderful image by Will Worthington of the hare from the Druid Animal Oracle that it's showing it looks like my hand's facing the wrong way. That's because the lens reverses everything. So I should hold it like that, even though to me it's the wrong way around, if you see what I mean. This is, if you can cup it in your right hand, then it's waxing. So the moon, I can cup it in my right hand and it's waxing, which means a time for the sowing of seeds, a time of hope. There's a lovely touch in the dolmen being behind the hare here, because the dolmen is a place, of course, where the body is laid to rest. It's a burial place, but it's also a place of renewal, of rebirth. Because in Druidry, we consider very much the process of death to be one of rebirth, of entering the gateway of death, to be reborn into the other world, and then perhaps later to be reborn into this physical world. So here the dolmen is displayed as a symbol of rebirth, which is, of course, in the Christian tradition that built and carried on from the pagan traditions and pre-Christian traditions. We have Easter's the time of the resurrection. and time of rebirth. And to reinforce that, you see the eggs there, eggs which are extremely important to Druids. Some people suggest that this is because Druidism historically was influenced by the Mithraic tradition, where the egg was an extremely important symbol. But whatever the origin of the association between Druids and eggs and Druids eggs, Druids today regard the egg as an extremely important symbol, a symbol of incubation and the ability for something new to be born. So this is a very, very beautiful time, and it's a time of hope. It's a time when we do tip into this light side, and even though we might have been frustrated and we might have been suffering through these dark months, change is afoot, and it's actually occurring at a cosmic level. And by cosmic, I mean planetary level, if you like. It's an actual physical fact that we're shifting into. And this, of course, affects our hormonal system, our endocrinal system, the way our nervous system works. As anyone who has SAD, seasonal affective disorder, where you suffer from not enough sunlight, you will know very well how important this is. So the hair is a symbol of rebirth. And there's a very good little spot on the radio recently about the hair. And in it, they quoted just a few lines from a Middle English poem that was translated by Seamus Heaney from Middle English, written anonymously in the 13th century. And these little lines were so intriguing. Those of you who heard it might have been intrigued by these lines. And Stephanie has sent me through the whole poem, which I'll read to you if you like. It gives us a glimpse into the folklore and even the mindset, perhaps, of our ancestors, or of those of us living in England in 1,000 years ago, or just a bit less than 1,000 years ago. And here it goes. Please don't be offended by some of the words in this. The names of the hair. First of all, there's one verse which sets the scene up. Then there's some instructions on what the man has to say to the hair, and then a closing verse that closes the scene. So here's the first verse. The man the hair has met will never be the better of it, except he lay down on the land what he carries in his hand, be it staff or be it bow, and bless him with his elbow, and come out with this litany with devotion and sincerity to speak the praises of the hair. Then the man will better fare. That's interesting, isn't it? The man the hair has met will never be but you'll never get the better of the hair unless you put everything that you're carrying down. In other words, stop, pay attention, bless the hair with your elbow, a strange gesture, and come out with this litany with devotion and sincerity to speak the praises of the hair. Then the man will better fare, then you'll do better. Now there's humor in hair. It sounds very reverential, but you wait and see. So here we go. This is what you're supposed to say once you've blessed the hair with your elbow. The hair, call him Scottart, big fellow, Bouchart, the O'Hare, the jumper, the rascal, the racer. Beat the pad, white face, funk the ditch, shit ass, the wimment, the messer, the skidaddler, the nibbler, the ill-met, the slabber, the quick scut, the dew-flirt, the grass-biter, the goy-bird, the home-late, the do-the-dirt, the starer, the wood-cat, the purblind, the furze-cat, the skulker, the bleary-eyed, the wall-eyed, the glance-aside, and also the hedge-springer. The stubble-stag, the long-lugs, the stook-deer, the frisky-legs, the wild one, the skipper, the hug-the-ground, the lurker, the race-the-wind, the skiver, the shag the hare, the hedge squatter, the dew hammer, the dew hopper, the sit tight, the grass bounder, the jig foot, the earth sitter, the light foot, the fern sitter, the kale stag, the herb cropper, the creep along, the sitter still, the pintail, the ring the hill, the sudden start, the shake of the heart, the belly white, the lambs in flight, the gobshite, the gumsucker, the scare the man, the faith breaker, the snuff the ground, the baldy skull, his chief name is scoundrel. The stag sprouting a swayed horn, the creature living in the corn, the creature bearing all men's scorn, the creature no one dares to name, having given it lots of names. Now we get to the closing verse. When you have got all this said, then the hare's strength has been laid. Then you might go faring forth, east and west, north, south and north, wherever you incline to go, but only if you're skillful too. And now, Sir Hare, good day to you. God guide you to a howdy-do with me. Come to me dead in either onion broth or bread. So not a vegetarian ending, unfortunately. But an interesting historical glimpse, I think. Yes, when I read that, I just get carried back to a very different time historically. The big-eyed muncher nesting in the lettuce patch, says David Jones. So there's a recognition of the hare there, as when the poet talked about the hare being the scoundrel. There's an association with the trickster. There's something tricksterish about that. The hare is associated with the trickster, the rabbit out of the hat, the surprise. And that's the thing about sudden transformation, is the surprise component on it. In it, the surprise component in it. So we can go through a process of change and transformation, and maybe this is in ourselves, spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, change in the dynamics in a group, whatever it is, and it can be guided to some degree, predicted to some degree, nurtured and fostered to some degree. But at a certain moment, it's out of your hands, and the change occurs, the transformation occurs. There's always a risk, or perhaps there's always a risk in it. And that's where the maverick energy, the sudden change that the trickster can bring to a situation, symbolized by the hare. Rachel O'Reilly is saying, I started a hare while out surveying a wood yesterday. He was the sleeper in the moss, the lolloping long legs, Peter Cottontail. Yes, we're getting some nice a boxing Romeo. Yes, we could make our own poem, couldn't we? Yes, that's great. The name of the poem, a good point. The names of the hare. If you Google the names of the hare, and perhaps Seamus Heaney or Middle English, something like that. There we go. So, reflections on sudden change versus slow change, and how they're both part and parcel of the process of transformation. And where does it lead? Where is the hare leading us? Where is the promise of spring leading us? Because the quality of feeling, I think, that is represented by this time of the spring equinox is promise. It's a promising time. It's promising us summer. It's promising us the beauty, the smells, the colors of spring and summer. And it's promising us the fruits of autumn, because at this time we're planting the seeds, which will yield their harvest at the other side of the year in September, around that time. So promise and fulfillment, because in every promise that you make, there is the expectation of fulfillment. I promise to write that article by next Saturday. There's an expectation that it will be fulfilled. And so in general, you can say the spring equinox is a promising time, time of promise, with all that that means, just as the autumn equinox is a time of the fulfillment of promises, of fulfillment and harvest. And one of the cards associated with the equinox time is the bee. And here you see in this lovely picture of the bee from Will Worthington, you've got the honey, the equinox sun brightly shining in September there. And the bee is a creature that symbolizes community. So as a symbol of fulfillment, to have community as a symbol of fullness, richness, bounty, harvest. That's a lovely image, I think, as well. So should we go into a meditation together? And let's tune in this meditation. I'll suggest that we really connect with the idea of slowly approaching this moment of the equinox, which is now only an hour away. And then I'll invite us to be aware of the sudden transformation that the equinox can bring into the light. And so if you'd like to follow the meditation, you might like to lower your gaze or close your eyes in order to better concentrate on yourself. And you sense your physical world around you with the screen in front of you, seated in your room. And whilst being fully present and grounded in the now, where you are, there's a way in which perhaps you can open up to allowing a sense of the other world, allowing a sense of the four walls around you, the ceiling above you and the floor beneath you, just to gently dissolve as you find yourself seated in the sacred grove, seated in a clearing in the forest at night time. And you sense the earth beneath you, the trees around you, the night sky with its stars above you. And your awareness goes to the earth, and you feel the life of the earth. You become attuned to all the creatures living in the earth, the little bugs and the worms, all this life, the moisture too. And then as your awareness comes to the surface of the earth, you sense the moss and the grasses. And you feel how this earth supports your body, bringing you a sense of groundedness and solidity and stability. Taking in a deep breath and then just letting out and allowing yourself to relax, seated on this earth, nourished and healed by the earth too. And you sense how the earth has been dormant for so long through the winter. But you can feel how the earth is getting warmer. It's been warmed by sunlight in recent days. It's the time of Alban Isla in the Druid tradition, the spring equinox, the light of the earth. And you can feel that light in the earth somehow. It's as if The earth is waking up. You can feel this sense of aliveness, and it's been happening for weeks now, certainly since Imbolc, beginning of February, this just gently and slowly building of a sense of warmth and of energy in the earth. And you can feel this energy now flowing into your body, bringing you strength and healing. And you become aware of the trees rooted in the earth, sensing their roots connected to the soil, drawing the moisture and nutrients up through the roots, up the trunks. And you feel these trees around you now, blessing you, protecting you, keeping you safe. And you can smell the essential oils that the trees are exuding too, bringing you a sense of vitality. You look up into the branches and you see that some of the trees are just starting to bud. You may even see some trees that are already in blossom. Certainly down in Sussex they are, coming out in little white flowers, some of them. And you look up and you see the night sky. And you feel blessed by the stars, blessed by the moon and the night sky. And you breathe in the energy of the night sky deep into your being. So that the energy of the sky meets the energy of the earth within the center of yourself. And then you sense, you don't even have to open your inner eyes. You can still be feeling this energy flowing through you. But you can sense the sky lightening around you, and you realize that dawn, the dawn of the spring equinox, is starting. And you just sense and feel in every fiber of your being the lightening of the sky. And you know that the sun is starting to rise on the distant horizon, which is obscured by the trees, but you know that it's rising. You can feel the sun rising. And as the sun starts to rise, and the first rays start to filter through the branches, you can feel how the earth is turning to its light side, that the equinox is here, and that you're entering the light half of the year. There's such a special energy at this time of the spring equinox. It's like this whole period of the spring equinox is like the energy you experience at dawn. And it goes on for days. Drink in this dawn energy. This special pale blue, pale turquoise energy tinged with the yellow, the white, the gold of the rising sun. And you open your inner eyes in your grove and you see flowers just starting to appear on the ground. Crocuses, hyacinths. You might smell the smell of hyacinths in the air. And you sense now how there are your companions in the grove, and you stretch out your hand to either side and take the hands of those in the circle. And you feel the whole circle of us all gathered here together, just soaking in the sun as a group, just feeling this spring energy, feeling the promise that's contained in this feeling. And then just gently letting go of the hands to either side and just moving your hands to your heart and feeling this promise in your heart, the warmth in your heart. May our lives be filled with promise. May this equinox dawn bring a time of hope and joy. May we sow seeds of love, of beauty, of inspiration, seeds of hope. May the earth be blessed. May our lives be blessed. May all the land be blessed. And then gradually your awareness of being seated in the sacred grove begins to fade, but you retain the feelings. You notice how you're feeling in your body. You notice the change in your energy field that you experience from this meditation. And you retain this feeling as you allow your awareness of the sacred grove to gently fade, so that you become aware of being fully present here and now in this circle. Facing your screen. Well, thank you so much. Pamela saw a very large hare sitting next to her with flowers stuck in his fur. How sweet. Natasha says, I've always been able to, what's happening there? Oh, sure. I've always been able to feel the earth turn, just drop down into stillness, the tingling of rainbow warm colours reflecting on snow hare's pelt. Ostara's blessings on you all. Thank you for this wonderful tea. It's the cowslip today as they're just popping up. Lovely. Franklin. Evoking the shaman poet, unborn and a newborn son. Thank you. It's also the new moon in about 14 hours, also a time of renewal. So that will add to this feeling. That's marvelous. Ooh, where was that? Mary. Each evening lately, a snowshoe hare has visited our home. How lucky for you. That's fantastic. So thank you so much. It's been lovely to be with you. I look forward very much to reading your comments, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a wonderful equinox and movement into this new half of the year. Many, many blessings and much love. See you next week. Okay, bye.